Hello, all, and welcome to Hockey on Tap podcast. This is episode 21, Marshall Plan. I am your host, Bill Dean, and I'm here, of course, with my two co-hosts, my three co-hosts, Steve Echevarria, Mike Sandillo, Jonathan Faraday, a.k.a. Little Steve, Schwim, and Shorts Guy. Gents, how's it going?
Excellent, my friend. Excellent.
Yep.
That
Schwim,
pillow's a
how
lot
are you
quieter
doing on
than
this
Schwim.
Yeah, Schwim's just
Glad
doing great,
you don't
apparently.
talk this much.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Oh,
I like this
you got
Schwim a lot more.
I put his headset on.
But so everybody, how's everything going? What? Actually, here we got a boatload of stuff going on here. What are you just drinking first?
I got no time for you, Dean. No time. Shorts guy, start. I'm not ready.
I'll start. I'm just going to open it up. I just got it this weekend. You guys have some coming to you. Brand new, just released Friday. Cape May Mango, crushing it. It's a mango IPA. It's I've had a bunch already. They're really good. They really are crushable. And it comes in at 8%. It's got a good IPA flavor, and it's got a little bit of tart there too. So I'm a very big fan.
That's good beer.
Yeah, I can't wait to try that. It sounds delicious. Tomorrow.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to take. I'll bring it tomorrow to hockey.
Shotgun and natter days and drinking and crushing it.
Good beers and then not a good beer.
So I have, I'm doing a little chemistry project here, if you don't mind. So I took my 90-minute IPA, my Dogfish Head 90-minute IPA. This is canned in 2018, so this is 2 years aged. And this does age well. Here comes Melvin to let you know what he's drinking too. So what I do, Melvin, excuse me. So what I did is I purchased this. It's called a Randall. And what it is basically there is a filter at the top. So you throw in a whole bunch of nonsense, whatever it is that you want to mix into your beer. And I got this idea from Cloverleaf there in Caldwell, that restaurant. Great for craft beer if anybody's looking for a great night for craft beer. So it has a little filter at the top. So what you do is I threw in a whole mess of Oreos. So the first one I had at Cloverleaf was 90-minute through Randall of Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies. So I got that idea from this. I'm hoping we get a similar taste, but we'll see. So I'm just kind of experimenting today. 90-minute IPA, which is always delicious, through a Randall of Oreo cookies. I don't even know if this is going to pour. I might have made too many cookies here, but we're going to find out.
Are Oreos vegan?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Which is very weird, right? Because a cream-filled chocolate cookie would be vegan.
Yeah.
That's like the strangest concept.
That means there's nothing natural in the cookie whatsoever.
That is 100% correct. Taste the chemicals.
Yep. Delicious, delicious chemicals. So are you done with your Randall taco?
I'm still pouring it, but you can go.
Right, well, he's pouring. I have, so I already drank Guava Banana Cake by Brick City. Pretty good beer. We'll give the ratings later. Now I'm going on Ecosphere. It's a sour ale with cherry by Finback. And then maybe if, I'm going to play my cards right, might go with a third, Sounds of Color, which is a watermelon goza sour ale, also by Finback. So yeah, we're drinking today. We're having fun. On the schedule, awesome guests. We have Grant Marshall, former NHL player with the Devils, Stars, and Columbus Blue Jackets, obviously drafted by Toronto Maple Leafs. Great, a great role player, two-time Stanley Cup champion. So we'll get into it with him at 8:15. But we got tons of stuff going on today. A lot of NHL news. Let's get right to it, boys. So here's our what's on tap for today's episode and our weekly snapshot. Peter Laviolette was named head coach of the Washington Capitals. He signed a 3-year deal. He actually ranks 16th in all-time wins at 637. He won, obviously, the Cup with the Hurricanes in 2006 and most recently coached the Predators for more than 5 seasons. He went to the Cup Finals with those Preds in 2017 as well as with the Flyers in 2010 after he had left the Hurricanes. He replaces Todd Reardon, who now actually is an assistant coach with Pittsburgh. We can talk about that a little bit. Along with the coaching changes being Laviolette, Mark Recchi actually joined the Devils as an assistant. So Shorts Guy, maybe after we talk to Grant Marshall, we could talk a little bit about these two guys, with Pittsburgh and now with the Devils. And then also Bill Armstrong was named GM of the Coyotes. So a lot of, management positions being filled. But like I said, we'll come back to that. One of the top D-men thought to be on the market, Jonas Brodin of the Wild, received a 7-year, $42 million extension at $6 million AAV. He has no movement clause through the first 4 years. The Wild are now shopping Matt Dumba per sources. They're getting end fielding calls. September 15th was the final day. Marc-Andre Fleury and his agent could submit a list of 10 teams he could not be traded to. So we'll see what happens, obviously, with MAF. Robin Lehner, 6 to 7 million, and the Knights are talking a contract. Lastly, the Caps expect Holtby to hit free agency. Just going back to the Brodin stuff, what could TJ Brody or Travis Hamonic get with Calgary now that Brodin got paid? You're looking at some good contracts there. So one more defenseman, Pietrangelo, is most likely going to hit the free agent market. Both him and the team mutually agreed to test the market. And one more signing, the Penguins re-signed Jared McCann for 2 years at $2.94 million per. So, gents, I know I went off a lot of it, but what do you got?
Going back to the contract talk, I think this is going to be a weird offseason because you're going to see big contracts like that. And I think we're still going to see some big contracts, but we're also going to be seeing a lot of guys who maybe are holding out, who are going to have to take much lesser than the market value for them normally would be. Schwim, you look fantastic today, by the way. I don't know. I do like the Jared McCann signing. Also, reading up on analysts and writers talking that it doesn't mean that he won't be traded, but the Penguins organization does really like him. I think it's a fine contract. They really want him to fill into that third center role. Whether or not he does, we'll see. But it's just not bad. Schwim's ghost is floating around somewhere. Schwim's not here that his jersey's not even here.
Yeah,
he's showing off all the beer.
Is he?
Wow.
He's not wearing it, is he?
Look at that. Even a Penguins banner is shining through. That's what he's allowing today, folks. This is
Schwim really is just something else today.
Are we going to potentially hear Schwim in the background?
Yeah,
Schwim, are you here?
We'll know in about 5 minutes. Well, hopefully Grant Marshall is not scared away by that because, some weirdo screaming in the backgrounds.
He played with Brett Hull and Eddie Belfour, so I'm sure he's used to it.
Yeah. So, Shorts, what do you got? Anything on those contracts?
I'm with Steve. It's going to be a weird off season. Usually we're, at this point we're in training camp and, we've had that whole, weird period where guys are getting paid or whatnot. And it's with a lot of players. With a lot of players that just their season ended so abruptly that you didn't really get a good snapshot, or you only got a snapshot of what they were able to accomplish. For now, we have. I'm curious if those contracts are just going to pave the way for the rest of it, or if, like Steve said, guys are going to hold out. And I'm curious to see if we're going to have guys hold out into the start of the season. Like I don't know. I just feel like that this off season is going to be so odd, with the draft coming up in almost 2 weeks, and it's odd. It's just going to be odd.
Not just contracts, either trades. There's going to be a lot of trades that are still going to happen because there's a lot of buyouts. There's going to be some buyouts too. So it's going to be once the free agent market hits, there's going to be players that have been bought out. I know that there speculation, of course, from through the grapevine was that Marc-Andre Fleury wants to be bought out and apparently wants to sign a cheap short-term contract to go back to Pittsburgh. Now, whether or not that's actually true, who the hell knows? This is all just hearsay at this point. But, you could see it happen. But, I don't know if he is dead set on he wants to be a number one guy no matter what. Of course, in Pittsburgh, he would split time with Tristan Jarry probably, if that were the case. But I know just about every single writer is saying absolutely, under no circumstance will Marc-Andre Fleury end up on Pittsburgh. It's basically everybody except for the writers in Pittsburgh think that Marc-Andre Fleury has a chance to go back to Pittsburgh. But in that situation, if he gets bought out and he signs like a real small contract, just so he can play in Pittsburgh for maybe 2 years and then retire, I mean, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I hate what happened to him at the end there when they brought in Leonard, and it just he was shown the door very unceremoniously, and it just.
I mean, it happens. Look at the Rangers.
No, I know it. I know it happens, but you brought this guy as the face of your franchise. So to me, it seems just slightly different because he was brought in as the guy to begin with,
and they pulled the plug on him real quick.
Yeah,
he got older.
He
didn't have the best year though. I mean, we get in this offseason.
No, statistically, it wasn't his best, but I mean, I don't think he did anything to deserve being benched. But that being said, I don't think the coaching staff made the wrong decision in playing Robin Leonard because he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you can't
he played very well.
I mean, they wanted to win. They wanted to play the better goalie. I can't tell you that Robin Leonard was not the better goalie. It just the situation sucks because Marc-Andre Fleury is just such an awesome human being, and you don't want to see that kind of crap happen to him. But
no, I mean it's definitely we'll see in the offseason. It's gonna be great. So okay, so spoken about draft, Corey Proman, and so we will have Drew Way on to talk prospects either next week or the week after because the draft's coming in 2 weeks. So obviously we'll have the perspective from the Devils, the Rangers, the Penguins, Tampa, and as well as everybody else's teams. We're going to go a full-on mock draft. It'll be fun to go through. But Corey Proman with The Athletic also ranked organizational depth. And, Shorts Guy and me, myself, the Rangers are very happy. Rangers, Devils were ranked 1-2. Let's Go Devils, pod also talked with a scout a couple weeks ago about Lucas Raymond. I mean, this guy was the number 2 ranked prospect as of 2 years ago. I mean, if you guys get him, you should be happier than a pig in shit. The kid's going to be nasty, but that organizational depth chart, Rangers, Devils 1-2. I mean, you got to be happy about it. So.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of going back to the way it was like for, when I was first really, really getting into hockey in the early mid 90s, the Devils always seemed to have just this glut of young talent that was down on the farm. And for a while, they kind of went away from that, and it was like we had nothing. And there were no real good prospects that can come up at any one time. I was talking about this with the Let's Go Devils podcast guys. The Binghamton Devils were turning really hot at the end of the season there in the AHL. And they had a real legitimate chance to make it to the playoffs. And I hate the fact that it got canceled on them because that playoff and tournament experience is just you can't substitute it for anything. So all those prospects lost out on that potential playoff experience, which could go, it could mean a lot for them in their careers and for the Devils too. So, but I'm real happy to see that. Like, that's to have a good team in Binghamton to me is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so new NHL dates. The NHL buyout window opens September 25th or the beginning of the Cup final. So obviously September the 25th would happen because it's the later date. October 7th at 5 p.m. is the latest that clubs have to submit qualifying offers to RFAs. Obviously, those offers expire on the 18th at 5 p.m., and then they become UFAs. And then Gary Bettman came out and said he's unsure of when that 2021 season will start. So more, on what's going to happen for next year. But, obviously we're focused on this year and that cat just being in front of Steve's face.
Taking trim spot. That's
all
fine.
right. So we got 5 minutes before Grant Marshall. So I'm going to go through some NHL awards winners, which they were just announced. Big news. Cale Makar was named Calder Trophy winner. He bests Quinn Hughes and Dominic Kubalik. He had 50 points in 57 games, logged 21 minutes a night, had an additional 15 points in 15 games during the Avs playoff push. He also averaged 23 minutes and 41 seconds a night during the playoffs. He was a part of the all-rookie team, which also included Elvis Merzlikins as the goalie, Quinn Hughes as defense, obviously Cale Makar, Dominic Kubalik as well, Victor Olofsson from the Buffalo Sabres, and Nick Suzuki from the Montreal Canadiens. Quinn Hughes also had 53 points in the regular season, 17 in the playoffs, and Dominic Kubalik was a 30-goal scorer, and then obviously had that monster game against the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs where he had, I think, 5 points in a game, which was the youngest rookie to do that. Also, there were a bunch of other trophy award winners. We might not be able to go through all of them before Grant comes on, but Leon Draisaitl was named Hart winner, which is the MVP, and the Ted Lindsay Award winner. He won both, which I wasn't too happy about, but it is what it is. Not obviously well-deserved. He bested Nathan McKinnon and Artemi Panarin. He had 110 points and was the Art Ross Trophy winner. The past 6 times a player has led in scoring by 10-plus points, he has won the Hart. So, that holds true this time because he was, far and away the points leader. And he's the first German to win all 3 awards, the Art Ross, the Hart Memorial Trophy, or Hart Trophy, and the Ted Lindsay. So Leon Draisaitl had a ridiculous season, and, that's really, good on him. That was, you can't play any better than he did. Connor Hellebuyck was named the Vezina Trophy winner as top goaltender. He of the 924 save percentage, 6 shutouts. He was just amazing this year. He beat out fellow goaltenders Tuukka Rask and Andrei Vasilevsky for the award. He was hands down. We've talked about it multiple times. I think he was the best goalie hands down, especially with just his backup and the defense that he had lost in Bufflin, Trouba, and Myers. He had a great season. There's nothing else much to say about that. I don't know if you guys have anything.
Yeah, Tuukka Rask was also amazing, but played far fewer games. So that was a much tighter race for the Vezina than I think people expect. But Hellebuyck, I think, is well deserving. I think out of the 3, not to discredit Rask or Vasilevsky, but he was phenomenal, and the only reason why they were where they were.
All right, and last one before Grant comes on. Roman Josi won the Norris Trophy as the top defenseman. I think it was a little bit of a sleeper. He overtook John Carlson.
Thank God.
For the Norris as well as Victor Hedman. He logged 25 minutes, 47 seconds of ice time, putting up 65 points through 69 NHL games. He was 17 points ahead of the next best player on the Predators, Phil Forsberg, by 17 points. So, it's a really great thing for him to win. I think he was the best defenseman, and it's good stuff.
Melvin doesn't steal Sony TV.
What was that? Oh, nice, Sam. That's great. Oh man. Facebook Live, everybody. Obviously, send in questions on Facebook Live or comments. We love reading comments as well. Howard being a great fit. The stuff with Schwim. Obviously, you don't see Schwim on the screen. He's watching his beloved Tampa Bay Lightning hope to not go an 0-2 hole. Obviously, they're down 1-0 in the series. Just greasy, that Schwim. Oh man, that's a great comment. Sam Wu with the dagger.
I think he wins.
While we're waiting,
tonight.
He wins the night with that one.
While we're waiting, because we only have a couple seconds before scoring leaders through Monday. Kucherov, 6 goals, 20 assists for 26 points, leads the playoffs. Point and McKinnon are right behind him at 25. Heiskanen at 23. Rantanen, Bailey, Theodore, Ben with 8 goals, 10 assists. Kadri, Brock Nelson, Elias Pettersson, and JT Miller all come after that. Bo Horvat still leads 10 goals, so he's having still having a great playoffs, I guess, if you want to say. So what do we got? 7:30. What time's the game start? It is on.
Just started.
I was watching. I had football on for some reason.
Hey, Jan Ruda's in.
Ooh, Jan Ruda. So obviously those consummate favorites. We still got Heiskanen and Khudobin for Dallas and Poit and Hedman for Tampa. You're looking at 4 fantastic players, and I think you could pick any one of those guys and not be wrong.
I'm all about Khudobin.
Khudobin is. I think
the Russian
Khudobin
shorts guy.
Is hands down.
Russian shorts guy. Yeah,
that's that picture's great.
I think Heiskanen, not to discredit Heiskanen's
boys,
playoff.
I think
Khudobin is.
All right, hold on. I don't mean to cut you off, but we do have Grant Marshall on the line. I just want to give a quick intro. We now welcome to the podcast a playoff hero. He started his pro career with the Ottawa 67s of the OHL, where he scored 52 goals, 90 assists, a total of 142 points in 117 games. He also racked up 240 PIMs during that time, penalties and minutes, obviously, for the layman. He then worked his way through the AHL, where he displayed his offensive game and leadership. He had 40 points in 67 games and added 155 penalty minutes. During his 11-year NHL career with the Stars, Columbus Blue Jackets, and Devils, he would record 92 goals, 147 assists in 700 NHL games. He also had 82 career NHL fights, showing toughness and love of his teammates. Obviously, most important of all are those 2 Stanley Cup wins, one with the Stars in 99 and one with the Devils in 03. After being dealt at the deadline from Columbus, he would record 6 goals and 2 assists in that Devils Cup playoff run, including the triple OT winner in Game 5 of the versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. So poor Schwim.
Take that.
Welcome to the podcast,
Yeah, Schwim.
Grant Marshall. Grant, how are you?
I'm well, guys. How are you? I gotta say, my stats never pop out, but I tell you what, you make them pop out.
I'll do it anytime you want. I'll pop those
my
stats.
contract negotiations.
Hey, fantastic. So
He's
how's
an
everything
excellent
going,
agent.
Grant?
Appreciate it. Things are going good in the crazy in the world we're in now, but you know what? Everyone's healthy, safe right now, so we're good. So everything's good, and I hope everyone's well with you and your families as well.
Yeah, all's great over here. We really appreciate having you on. So we'll get right to it because I know, we have you for about 20 minutes. Your NHL story is amazing to hear. During your time in Ottawa with the 67s, you were checked from behind against the Sudbury Wolves by Jason Young. You broke your neck and had temporary paralysis from what I hear. You returned a year later and went after Eric Lindros in your first game back. It's obviously a great story of perseverance. Can you talk a little bit about that and your recovery?
Absolutely. Actually, yeah, I can. And actually, I came back that same year. It just happened to be in the playoffs. So it was my 25th game. I can recall. I'm getting older, but now my 25th game and playing on the road in Sudbury, Ontario, playing for the Ottawa 67s. And my parents went to every junior game I played. They traveled to road games, to home games. But that was the one game that they happened to miss because of a massive blizzard up north of Canada. And Jason, I went back for the puck, playing defense at the time, and the goaltender pushed the puck away from me, and I was near the boards. And Jason Young cross-checked from behind, and I went headfirst in the boards. And I was conscious the whole time. I knew there was something wrong, but I had no feeling in my body. And it was one of those things where I was scared. I mean, I was swearing, cursing, scared, and then when I realized in the hospital, I heard the doctors tell me that I fractured my neck. It ended up being I fractured my fourth vertebrae. I blew up my 5th vertebrae, and I fractured my 6th. In which the doctors, long story short, doctors kind of told me that I would never play hockey ever again. And but they said that I would be able to, live a normal life after surgery and be able to play sports, but just not hockey, because in their professional opinion, that they didn't think would be the right thing to do. And they asked me what my feelings were about that, and I was very honest. And being 16 with the cockiness to him, and not really having too much of a care in the world at the time, it's more of, well, I respect your opinion, but you're telling me I'm going to be able to live a normal life and be able to play sports like normal kids do. Well, hockey is a sport like no other. So if you're telling me I can play sports, then I'll be able to play hockey again. And about almost 3.5, 4 months later, I came back and played a game in the playoffs against Eric Lindros. Yeah, it was quite a feeling. And
That's a great story.
Just kind of the kind of my personality was, Eric Lindros was the best player and he was the biggest player. You fall off the horse, you got to get back on, right? So I obviously said, well, he's the first person I'm going to go after. So I went and ran. I ran him. And
That's a big horse, man. That's a big horse.
Yeah, right.
The bad news is I did a 180 face plant. The good news is that I ended up getting up from it. So I knew I was fine after that.
That's great.
That's great. So, Grant, I just have to, I don't know if you can hear in the background, I have a belligerent vagrant next to me that is just screaming at the game over here. So if you hear somebody screaming and yelling and swearing,
it's our
that's
other
just
co-host.
our other...
He's watching the Tampa Stars game right now, which we'll get into.
Yeah. Anyway, so I
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you was playing with Dallas, just kind of comparing these two Dallas teams. Now Dallas is back, first time since '99 since you were there winning with them, and that team that was just full of Hall of Famers. This team, I'm not sure if you can compare the two. I know obviously the league is very different, but do you see similarities in the two teams? Are you rooting for Dallas to win this since you are a former Dallas Star player? And just experience.
Well, the difference. Well, and actually, we went to the finals. We won in '99, and then we went to the finals the following year again. We went back and we lost to the Devils in 2000. The game you hit on that. The game is completely, pretty. I find it's pretty completely different. It's still got the speed now. It's just a bit. It's just all offense to a degree. There's not that element of defensive style or the element of that physical play. It's more the physical play with your feet and the skating department, which is a good thing. Which is good. It's just my mindset, the way I played was more the older school, so it's a little harder for me to wrap my head around. But I gotta admit, the game, this playoff run has been exciting, really, really exciting to watch. A lot of speed, a lot of fun. The Islanders have been playing great up until they got beat at the end, but teams that really looked good. I thought Dallas was great. I didn't expect them to get to the finals, so hats off to them on that. Compared to teams we had an older team in Dallas, a very cagey veteran team, so much skill as well as this current team does. But it's good for the organization. I'm glad for the organization. It's a phenomenal organization. I always say the difference between the Dallas organization to a degree and the Devils is that in Dallas, because of the weather, and it was kind of like a country club, Yeah. And
Right.
It was really just straight and narrow, bang. Not that we didn't take it serious in Dallas, but it was really with Lou Lamoriello, and it was just head down, straight narrow. We went that way. Where in Dallas we went to a different way. And it's fine. It worked, but now, am I cheering for them? I guess I am a little bit, but part of me kind of like has that little selfish feeling of like, well, it'd be nice to still be the only guy part of the Devils or the Dallas team that won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
At the end of the day,
that's a good point.
One of a win-win. You know what I mean? If they win, that's great for the organization. I do love the organization for what they give me in my career. Early on in my career, but then on the other side of it, they lose. It'd be like, okay, well, I'm still on the cup team that's only won the cup for that team, so that organization.
Yeah.
So, that's the selfish part of me.
Grant, just to follow up, you mentioned the country club versus the straightforward. Do you think that was because of the players that they had on those Stars teams being, obviously, pardon the pun, but they were Stars versus the Devils where they were more of a team atmosphere? Do you think it was based off of that, or was it more of just how the structure was within the organization?
Well, I think it goes hand in hand to a degree. Like what I mean by that is Lou Lamoriello, he's the start of it all, right? And he gets the people that he feels is that proper core players that are on that same mindset, that same attitude. And in Dallas, we had more of the let's just get the best players that we feel like. We had a good coaching staff. It was just a different mindset. We still had players that had the same, head down, follow through. Joe Newdike, Jim Langburn, I won with them. I won with them in New Jersey as well. So it's just that Lou had specific people that he felt that would fit with that organization, would fit with the team and the chemistry. And Dallas had their version of way of doing it. We had Brett Hall. I remember in the playoffs, we have our team meeting before the playoffs started, and he was setting a few rules. And one was like, you got to be home. We don't want you guys doing this, playing golf and doing that. And Brett Hall's like, so I'm just going to let you know right now, I'm golfing in my days off. I went to golf, that's what you do. And within 5-10 minutes, that rule got thrown out. Now, if that happened in New Jersey, Lou would be like, well, you can go golfing, but you won't be playing. And you can not even come watch your team play. So that's up to you. It's the difference, you know what I mean? But it worked.
Yeah.
And I understand Dallas side. I was a golfer. I'm a golfer. And Brett Hall and I, myself, and Madonna and Carbon, we golfed all the time. And it didn't affect us how we played. That was our kind of getting away from the game, the mindset for 3-4 hours. And it worked. But yet, if it was to be the same scenario here in New Jersey and we weren't allowed to play, well, I conform to what the team wants to do. I'm okay with it. I just, I'm about the team. I've always been about the team, and it's always been that way.
Grant, it's Shorts Guy. How you doing?
How are you, Shorts Guy?
I'm doing well, man.
Oh, yeah.
Old friend.
Oh yeah. Billy Dean was Billy Dean was reading those stats, and your career goals is the opposite of your number. You got 92 career goals, and you wore number 29. So I don't know if you planned it that way.
That's right.
I don't know if you planned it that way, but it's better than 29 career goals.
That was that 180 face plan from Eric Lindros.
Why try and get more goals when they can reverse the number? Oh God.
Yeah, right.
Great point.
Well, you know what? If it worked out, it worked out. I had 700 games. I was injured for a bit, so I could have got to over 800 games. But it is what it is. I was able to win. The main thing is I had a good, fun career. I was very, very fortunate, especially from the backstory of me with my neck injury. And I ultimately, people, I won 2 Stanley Cups, but you know what's even more better with the Stanley Cup status? I went to the finals 3 times. I know I lost, but I still got to say I went to the finals 3 times. Not everyone gets to go once in their life.
Yeah, right.
I went 3 times.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, lost one, but I still use that in my stats. And I went to the finals 3 times. I did.
Yeah, you just. I mean, I would say that too. I went to the final 0 times, so that's 3 more than
I went
did.
0 times. I went to the finals once as a fan in '95, but that's as close as I will ever come. Is sitting in the stands. So Grant, you mentioned your.
You guys were always a part of it.
Yeah, no, I know. But so Grant, you mentioned your parents earlier. You mentioned your parents earlier driving to all your games, and you told me this story before, but why don't you tell the guys what you did with that first ring you got from Dallas? Because I think it's a phenomenal story.
Which with the one when I was in Prince Edward Island and the where I bought the cup back to Prince Edward Island.
No. What you did with your first Stanley Cup ring?
Oh, what did I do with it?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? Yeah. So
because the guys haven't heard it. So.
Oh, so I lived in the East Coast at the time. Every time I go back home to Canada, Prince Edward Island, and I would bring I said to when we won the cup, I said I'm going to bring the Stanley Cup back to Prince Edward Island where I live. And my hometown, though, is Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And everyone was like, why are you bringing it there when your hometown is Toronto? And I basically said, well, listen, they may never see the Stanley Cup in PEI ever. And the Stanley Cup lives in Toronto at the Hall of Fame. So really, anyone can see it anytime there. So I said, I'm going to give it, bring it back and kind of all the people on the island, Prince Edward Island can, come and see the cup. And I had it all day, for 24 hours, but for most of the day I had it at a park. And I had it I think it was close to 4,000 people show up, and we got to get pictures with the cup, to have a memory with that. And I had a couple of charity things if they wanted to donate something to a couple of charities that I had at the time. They didn't have to. And it was kind of about giving back to the community. And just had a big party after that. I had it on a boat. Of course I slept with it. That's like a guarantee. And then, but I remember saying to my family, I go, listen, if I ever win the Stanley Cup again, I'm just trying to calm them down, right? Get them off the cliff. That, I'll make sure I bring it back to my hometown. And then, so they're like, oh, whatever, okay, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. They made the trip to PEI. They enjoyed the party. And then next year I go to the finals again. And, chances of going to the finals is hard to do. I go to the friggin' finals again. And
back.
We lose. And I'm like, oh, shit. Now I'm never going to play it again. I'm never going to go. So then I get traded to deadline to the Devils. And I remember, I promise if we win, I'm bringing it home. I'll bring it home. And then obviously that's what I did. And I wasn't screwing that part of it up.
Yeah. So
At least your parents got to see it in your home.
yeah, really, that's great.
Yeah.
So let's talk actually about your time with the Stars and the Cup run there. What's your favorite memory of that Cup run, and why was that such a good team, or great team?
Well, we were just loaded. We had an older team. We had so many guys that's won cups before. The leadership on that team was outstanding. It was, we had a couple captains, a couple assistants, and we had about 6 other guys that could easily have been the captain and assistants, with the Mike Keens and the Brian Scrudlins and the Guy Carbonos, Ludwig. It was Neuendijks. It was amazing. And, we went on runs we were unbeatable. It was quite impressive to be a part of, like going into each city and pretty much knowing you're going to win, but yet at the same time making sure that you did the right things in the game to win, not taking it for granted. And it was kind of cool. I mean, there was times, I remember one story, we won 12 or 13 in a row, and we go into one, I can't remember where we went, and we lost on the road. The one game at like 13 or 14 or 12 it was. And Hitchcock was losing his shit. It was all this stuff is going crazy. We're on the bus going to the airport, and we're like, all of a sudden, we're thinking to ourselves, we're the best team in the league. We just went on a huge run. And he's giving us crap because we lost one game. It happens. So we all started singing on the bus. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. He was livid. And our point was, chill. We got this. We were okay. We lost the game. We're not happy about it, but we'll regroup. We just went 13 in a row or whatever it was. We got this. And then, obviously we had I think we ended up winning like 56 games that year or something like that.
Yeah, that was a crazy, crazy year. My brother's actually a huge Dallas Stars fan, so for my life following them too. Yeah. So it was very cool. I mean, he was he's listening and obviously a big fan. But I remember the two of us actually went to go see you guys play the Devils in the 2000 Cup final, and the one game we went to in New Jersey, you guys actually won. So it wasn't so bad. Obviously, the end result wasn't great, but we were at least there for the one win.
That's good. Well, there you go. See? He was happy.
Yeah, he was happy for that brief moment until the series ended. But, yeah, you guys are great. It was a pleasure watching you guys. Yeah, that's true.
You got he won the battle. You won the war at the end, so you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, he was happy in that brief moment that he got to watch that one game, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. That's all that matters, right?
Grant, it's Shorts Guy again. So I know you do a lot with the Devils alumni. Do you ever do anything with the Stars? I don't know if I've ever asked you that. If you have any contact with the Stars alumni, if you do anything.
I do. Yeah, I do. I remember we did. I don't do anything with the extent of like what I do with the Devils. I work for the Devils. I get paid for the Devils to do the work that I do with the alumni, which I'm proud to do. But I've done a few things. I've done a couple charity events. We did one big event. It was, I can't remember, it was about 6 years ago. It was when they retired Madonna's jersey up in the rafters, and they flew the whole 99 Cup team down. And we had about 4 days there, and we played some golf and dinners and nice. Kind of hanging out, partying, and they had a big thing at one of the games. And they, were on the ice with our Dallas Cup-winning jerseys, and I think the whole team except for maybe one guy, two guys. I think it was Roman Turk, a goaltender. I think he couldn't make it, but it was phenomenal. And it was a big. Instead of a red carpet because of their colors, it was a green carpet event. It had to be 3,000, 4,000 people outside the stadium as we walking in. And they're announcing all of us, and we're signing all of that. It was so much fun. They did such an amazing job in a class act, and it was really cool to be a part of.
So Sam Wu is actually, he's obviously helped get you on as well as Melissa. So we appreciate their help having you on with us. He asked how crazy was Eddie Belfour?
Oh, he will. Since you guys like goaltenders, he's up there. He's nuts. He was this guy. He's a Hall of Famer, and rightfully so. What a phenomenal career, and helped win us our first Stanley Cup in '99. But this guy, I'd say, after every game, he would stretch for which seemed like 18 hours. It seemed like, but he would stretch so long, and then he has to sharpen his own skates and make sure all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're a bit crazy. It's okay, but he couldn't cut it off. That's how he was. That's his personality. He was a little different, but he was a professional and he worked hard, and he was good. He was really good.
Yeah, and before
all goaltenders are a little off.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Yeah. Shorts guy is definitely off.
I've only played with 2 goalies that weren't off.
Who were the other 2, or who were the 2?
Well, it was Marty Turco for Dallas, and Marty Brodeur for New Jersey.
Who was the last one? I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit.
Marty Brodeur.
Oh, Brodeur. All right, so actually, I was going to talk about Marty Brodeur just quickly, and it's a quote about you, and so I figured this would be a good way because I know you got to get out. But there's a good quote that Marty said about you. He was a great teammate. I think when you go through a cup run with someone, you have a lot of memories with them. Marshy was a fun guy, a tough hockey player. He enjoyed the game, enjoyed having fun with the boys. He was a really good teammate. So, obviously, you ingratiated yourself with the Devils very quickly after that trade from the Blue Jackets. Your teammates loved you, and obviously, fans love you. Obviously, two organizations have, you have deep ties to. So, we wanted to thank you very much for coming on and talking with us. And obviously, we have a bunch of questions. If you ever want to come on again, we'd love to have you. And, Grant, thank you so much. We really do appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you, Grant. We really appreciate it.
Well, guys, listen, I really appreciate for the confidence, and obviously the nice things that Marty has said. We obviously weren't who we were unless we had Marty. He was the greatest goalie in the world. He'll always be the greatest goalie and a good friend. And listen, people like you that are so passionate for the organization, are passionate for not just Devils, but for the game of hockey, and the sport needs a lot more people like you guys, and. We on behalf of a former player, we appreciate the love that you guys have for the game, for the Devils, and continue to do what you guys do, because you guys make it fun, and you guys are very, very good at what you do.
Well, thank you, Grant. That means a lot, and we really do appreciate that. And as you heard, the crazy Tampa Bay fan, the Tampa Bay Lightning just scored, so they're up 1-0 over the Stars. So, but yeah, Grant, thank you so much for the time, and we look forward to having you on again. Thank you.
Thanks, Grant.
Guys. Be safe. All right.
Thanks, Grant.
So, guys, awesome interview with Grant Marshall. That was fantastic. We really do appreciate his time. Thank you to Melissa and to Sam for, getting Grant on. We have obviously a bunch of other questions we'd like to ask him, we'll have him on at a later date. That was fantastic. But yeah, so
Billy Dean, hold on real quick. Who did he say was the greatest goalie of all time? Who did he say was the greatest goalie of all time there?
Well, he's I
heard a certain name.
He's a tiny
I heard
bit,
another. I heard, no.
He's a little bit, swayed to one side because he played with him. That's kind of
Billy Dean. How many Stanley Cups have you gone to in your lifetime?
I've actually been to 2.
So Grant Marshall's been to 3.
I'm saying I actually watched him win in 2003, and I watched the Devils. I watched both of them. It were Devils wins.
You were there? You were there?
Yeah, I was there. I was there in 2003 when they beat Anaheim, and then I was there in 2000 when they beat the Stars.
So I have a story about. First of all, I remember
and I'm a Ranger fan.
a repressed memory. I remembered a repressed memory. I was at Game 6 of 2001, so that's a repressed memory because I could have seen them win.
That was a good year.
I don't know if I've told you guys this story, but when the Devils made the Cup in 2003,
getting bitten right now.
That's not good.
What?
Is it Schwim?
Schwim's biting him from the ankles.
Schwim just came up from under the table and started gnawing on my arm.
So in 2003, when the Devils made the Cup Finals, I was young and I was stupid. I mean, not much smarter than I am now, but so I went to go try to get tickets for the Cup Finals, and the only tickets that came up were Game 7.
Oh,
and I didn't quite understand how Ticketmaster worked, and then I would get a refund if they didn't go to that
Yep.
far. I was stupid, and I said
So you
they'll
didn't
never
buy
go
it.
to Game 7, and I clicked out of that window and never purchased.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Oh,
You said that was an 01 or 2000?
That was 2003.
2003.
Oh, 03,
Because
sorry.
2000,
Yeah, I mean,
2000 they won it in Dallas,
in Dallas, yeah.
but I was at Game 6. I was at Game 6 when they could have won in 2001,
I
and
was
then
saying, where
that
did
just
they
went
win it in
downhill from
01?
there.
Oh, yeah, they lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I that Avalanche team was, I mean, we could talk about that for days because that
Which-
Avalanche team was ridiculous. I mean, they were
Yeah, but
so good.
If the Avalanche would have beaten any other team other than mine, I would have celebrated Ray Bork winning a cup.
Yeah. No, I know.
I can't. Like I
mean, that
I
was-
respect him for finally winning, but I can't like say, yeah,
No, I
Ray
know.
Bork won the cup. I was like,
Yeah, if he did it against any of our teams, we'd be
Ugh.
pissed too. I mean, I understand it. It sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like we said, Tampa Bay is up 1-0. Braden Point with a power play goal in the about the hash marks on the in between the circles. It was a flutter puck. So once again, 1-0.
Knobin looked like he was going the
Lightning.
Knobin
Yeah,
looked like he was
the other
going
way.
to his
Yeah.
right. So he was going the
So-
complete opposite way. I feel like it caught him off guard.
You know, obviously, our last podcast we had, it was Game 5 for both teams between the Lightning, Islanders, and Knights and Stars. So just quick recap. Obviously, Game 5, the Islanders won 2-1 in overtime. Eberle netted the OT winner, and Varlamov made 36 saves, had a great game. Game 6, the Bolts closed it out 2-1 in a double OT win. Sorelli with the game winner. In the other side, in the Western Conference, Knights Stars, the Stars just closed it out in Game 5, a 3-2 overtime win. Guryanov netted the OT winner, 3:36 into OT. I didn't do MVPs and LVPs, but I just, for some reason, didn't have enough time. But, I mean, obviously, you look at it, Varlamov was great for the Islanders. They didn't have the secondary scoring they needed. And the Lightning, Braden Point and Kucherov were on fire. In that Knights Stars series, Khudobin is hands down the MVP. I know that the Knights, Leonard played well as well. And the LVPs, I know there are a couple of guys, with the Knights that didn't play as well as they needed to get to that next round. But Stanley Cup Finals, Lightning Stars. What we'll do is, you want to do the preview first? You guys got anything before we want to go into that?
No.
Preview the final.
Yeah, preview the finals. I know we're so late. As you
I can
hear,
tell you
short-
that
Schwim-
game 6 was a miserable experience for
with Schwim, yeah.
someone trying to sleep. And
Uh,
Andre. So Andre Palat with is that a power play goal? Was that a power play goal? Andre Palat, power play
man.
goal. Yeah, I mean their power play is finally opening up. Okay, so preview. This is the first time two Sun Belt teams have faced off in the final. Stars won it in '99, Lightning won it in 2004, and have each won one cup. The Lightning are looking to become the first preseason Stanley Cup favorite to win the cup since the Blackhawks in 2015. If they win, they will have beaten the top 3 defensive teams in the league during their cup run: the Bruins, now the Stars, and then the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Stars, on the other hand, have the oldest coach in Rick Bowness. He's 65, and he's coached in 5 different decades, and have been very adaptable this postseason. They scored 28 goals in 7 games versus the Avalanche, and then stymied Vegas in the conference finals, just completely shut them down on defense. So they know how to play, and they know how to play different ways. So, obviously Game 1 kind of showed. We'll get into that in a little bit. But, Ben and Sagan and the rest of the crew are now 3 games. I had 4, but now they're 3 games away from a cup after the duo's lack of production was called out, profanity-laced rant by the Stars president last year. The top lines are close. I think there's a slight edge to the Bolts just because of that expected goals. I think it's 68 for the Stars versus 77 for Tampa. Tampa has that 21-6 goals for, goals against. So that top line, Plot, Kucherov, and then Braden Point, who's been fantastic, has been great. Tyler Seguin still needs to show up. I mean, he has 2 goals this entire playoffs. I don't think he's played as well as he needs to. And if he has a great series here, all is going to be forgotten. As After that, the depth I think is pretty even. You have Gurianov, you have Pavelski, you have playoff hero Kiviranta for Dallas, and on the other side you have Yanni Gourde, who's had a great playoffs. That Coleman-Goudreau tandem has been fantastic for them, and then Anthony Cirelli, who had the double OT winner Game 6 to get them to the Cup Finals. He's hopefully starting to show up. I think the defense does favor the Stars. That top end versus the Bolts depth. I think maybe the Bolts do have a little more depth, but the top end for the Stars, this playoff is loaded with defense. The Stars shine with Heiskanen, Klingberg, Alexiak, Lindell versus Bolts having Hedman, Serg, and McDonough, Sergachev. I personally love Bogosian this playoffs. I think he's played well. But yeah, I just think that Dallas has a little bit of a higher end potential. In goal, I think it favors the Bolts. But Khudobin's obviously had a fantastic playoff, and he's a Conn Smythe favorite. 921 save percentage, 214 goals against, 1 shutout. With obviously the last series, he had 950 save percentage versus the Knights. Vasi, not to be shied away with anyway. 931 save percentage, 182 goals against average. Coaching is, I think, tied. I love what Bonus has done with the Stars, and Cooper's obviously been a steady and reliable in this coaching round. In this Cup round. This is the first time a pupil has faced off against his former coach, because obviously Bonus was an assistant underneath John Cooper with the Tampa Bay, I think, a couple of years ago. Penalty kills are close, but the power play favors the Stars. I picked Tampa in 6. I think it'll still be Tampa in 6 after still losing Game 1. I'm not going to change that up, but it's going to be a great series. I mean, you have guys that are just going to beat the heck out of each other, and you have great offense, and then nice play, Cirelli to Killorn. Yeah, I got Tampa in 6. What do you guys got?
Yes! Woo! Yes!
Wow, Shattenkirk. Yell this Schwim, Shattenkirk.
No.
All right. What do you guys got for the series? Jesus.
So I think this is going to go. I think this is going to go the distance. I think it's going to go 7 games. And I'm picking this because for the longest time I've been sitting here trying to figure out exactly who I want to take in this series. Because I love Tampa through the East.
Off Lindell's leg.
Dallas has kind of been giant killers and looked great in Game 1. But I am going to pick Dallas, Schwim, specifically for one single reason, and that is
want your roommate to be miserable?
No, anytime there is a coaching change, like midway through the season, and that team ends up going to the Cup, it's almost always they're the winners. And that's the only reason.
So
why.
Obviously last year, Craig
I have
Berube.
Berube. You have Sullivan with Pittsburgh in 2016.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, yeah.
You had Dan Bilesma with Pittsburgh in 2009.
Yeah.
Can't name any more off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but you see it
That's
frequently.
Still 4.
And it's still 4 within the last 10 years. And I'm not going to give the edge. Like, I don't want to give the edge to any players, or I don't want to analyze the series at all. I'm picking that specifically for that reason. And that's it.
That's a good stat.
I'm not going to give any more input on it. I'm just going to say the change from Bonus is going to put him over the edge, and that'll be it.
All right, and Schwim will hate you for the rest of the time. So,
unless he's also picking Dallas.
Yeah, he probably would. Shorts, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Steve and really piss off Schwim.
Wow.
I think it's gonna go 7.
Not
and
nice
I
friends.
also, I know.
It doesn't mean we don't want them to win.
No. I just, I like Dallas, and this is going to be purely for one person, one player. I've really come to like Khudobin. I've really come to like how he plays, and I really do love the fact that he's a shorter goaltender, just standing on his head.
Oh my
guys
God,
keep calling him the Russian short guy.
Yes, sure is.
But and plus Khudobin's been around.
We gotta get Sam that photo of him posing with the beer and the wings, and then get Shorts guy doing the same thing shirtless, and then just put them side by side.
From Game 5. The soundbite from Game 5 and after they beat Vegas. So
Oh,
you gotta get Shorts
We
guy
know
saying
go
that after
home!
the game.
Yeah, that's a great clip. I think that it's so we got 3-0 now. I'm curious if they're going to wind up pulling him at all tonight, or if they're going to let him fight through this. But I've really come to like him a lot. I'm going to.
Yep. 3-0. This is what we got.
Yeah, 3-0.
So I'm going to throw this out there, and it's happened ever so rarely. Let's say Tampa does win. Is Khudobin still in the conversation for Conn Smythe?
No.
Yeah, I
don't think so?
I mean,
I don't
yeah,
think so.
only
I think
because
he-
I mean,
yeah,
look at
only
the
if they
last
win.
time that happened, and it was J.S. Jaguar, and he had probably the best
His
playoff I've ever
stats.
seen.
I don't have his stats in front of me, but his stats were asked completely. Maybe I can look it up. They were
Yeah, so
completely
no, I have the
freaking
stats right here.
ridiculous.
So I mean, for Jaguar, yeah. But I mean,
For Jaguar,
for Khudobin right now, I mean, a 921, a 214, the one shutout. Obviously, he's played fantastic these last 2 rounds. But I mean, there were games against the Avalanche where he was letting up 4 or 5 goals. I mean, I know that he wasn't the reason that was happening, but yeah, I think that would be really tough. He'd have to have an otherworldly performance these next 5 games or however many they're going to have. Obviously allowed the 1 goal yesterday, but allowing 3 now. Not that any of these are really his fault all that much. A lot of traffic,
No,
a flutter puck
he's
on
got
the 1.
14
and then,
on him.
Yeah,
he's got 14 on him through 1 right now, and
yeah,
he
2 minutes
faced
left.
he faced 22 in the third in game 1. I didn't get
he
a
got
chance to watch
blitzkrieg.
game 1.
Yeah,
But yeah, I saw the stats, like 22 shots in the third period. That's 22 in 1 period. That's sounding like Bone Storm level shots against.
So while we're waiting on Steve to give the Jaguar stats real fast, game 1, Stars won 4-1. Dickinson, Kiviranta, Oleksiak, and Hanley each had a goal. Klingberg, Heiskanen, Radulov, and Hintz each had assists. Gore to the goal, along with that Coleman, Gaudreau assist tandem. They were actually the only line that I felt played well for Tampa. Khudobin saved 35 of 36, including 22 in that last period. I think Vasi let up 3 of the last 4 shots. He let a goal up in 3 in the last 4 shots over 2 periods. And obviously game 2 tonight. Stamkos was at morning skate.
J.S. Jaguar, I have the stats here. So just so you
Yes,
want to
let's hear
compare
it.
the 2 here. J.S. Jaguar
Yeah.
played 21 games that year, won 15 of them, 1 short, obviously. 1.62 goals against, 9.45 save percentage with 5 shutouts.
Wow.
As the lowest ranked seed in the playoffs that year, correct?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. That team, I mean, not that they didn't have any, reason being there, but I mean, it was him and a bunch of fodder,
Did Khudobin start? So I feel like I should know this after throwing that out there, but did Khudobin start the playoffs?
Yeah.
Bishop's only played, I think,
1
2
game.
games now.
I thought it was 1.
Well, he played in the I believe he played in the round robin.
Oh, he did.
Once
okay.
in the round robin.
Gotcha.
But and then
he played the 1 game
Bishop
against
did start the 1 game against Colorado and got
Colorado and got
shelled.
blitzkrieg. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Khudobin got it, and then has taken over since.
So Khudobin, I say Khudobin's he is, I think, by far and like I was telling you before, Dean, I love what Heiskanen's done, but if Dallas wins the cup, Khudobin is the Conn Smythe winner, without a doubt.
Yeah. No,
unless he
wouldn't.
Unless he gets killed in the Stanley Cup playoff finals here, and Ettinger comes in, and we have a whole different story. But I don't really see that happening.
I mean, you see how that, because I think Hedman actually is probably the favorite now for Tampa. Him or Point are pretty much dead even. But you see how much a defenseman can take over games in these playoffs, and that's why I think Heiskanen still. It might be like a 49-51 Khudobin, at the 51 versus Heiskanen's 49, but you can definitely see how a defenseman can take over a series, especially against nice, dung the whole shit. Yeah,
dropping the phone.
Yeah, Tampa's 0-2 without Point, so you can make the argument there. Yeah. He doesn't play, they don't win.
Yeah.
So, but you were saying Stamkos was in the morning skate.
There it is.
Yeah, so Stamkos was in the morning skate.
Stamkos has been skating.
Yeah, but I mean, they're always going to feed news, but they think he could come back. Schwim, still says that he could see him coming back for a clinching game either way. Just to say you get in the playoffs and stuff. But obviously you hope for the Lightning he'd come back. He's fun to watch. obviously just stick him on the power play on the circle. You don't even play him anywhere else, and just let him have one-timers. Just feed him, and that's it. They need him for that power play. I mean, obviously they just have 2 power play goals right here, but he's a vital part to the team's success. And
he's the captain.
Yeah,
he is the captain.
So
Doman just looked really lax playing the puck behind with 4 seconds left.
Yeah,
I'm curious if maybe he's frustrated with his team right now.
Yeah,
because
he's played a lot of hockey
that
too.
Second goal. He has played a lot of hockey, but that second goal was across, and like he was just
a little
left
slow. Yeah,
and I was
and he just he had nothing there. So I'm
that's the other thing
who's
that obviously
Time to say
Khudobin's played so many more games than he normally
Melton's
would
upset.
play. So I could see that could take a toll on him. All right, Schwim, give us your analysis. Let's go.
Schwim, I just want you to know that.
Schmim, what are you drinking?
What did Grant Marshall say about me?
You're greasy.
He said that you have New Jersey's most punchable face.
Nice.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's true. I got
him,
into a fight at a Devils game once.
We asked him out of the 4 hosts on the podcast, which one would you punch and why is it Schwim? He just basically said because. What are you drinking, Schwim?
What are you for 12 minutes about how he wants to hit me right in the face?
Just said because.
I am drinking Breakfast for Lunch by Brick City Brewing. Delicious, absolutely delicious. I've had this on tap before. I've never had it out of the can. So 8% double IPA. I don't know if you can have this. Really, really good. I highly recommend it. I think I gave it over a 4 on the from the tap. From the can, I'll probably give it maybe 3.75 or 4.
Could Sam have it? I know he's vegan now.
Is Sam vegan just for a couple hours tonight? So he can have this?
I think he's skipping meat just for dinner.
It's brewed with lactose.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
Steve.
I'll enjoy it for him.
So, Schwim, tell us. Obviously, we heard you screaming and hollering in front of Grant's interview. What's your synopsis of the team's play?
Well, the beginning sucked. It was just like I thought they would come out with a lot more. I thought they would come out with a lot more fire, and they didn't at all. But then once Dallas got into penalty trouble, so they started taking penalties. But I wasn't very optimistic because their power play I think is 0 for 14, or 0 for the last 14. But their power play looked pretty good. They're moving around. They scored 2 power play goals that period, so that's good. They're up 3-0. I think they're out shooting them like 14-3 or something. So it's kind of like a continuation of that. Of that third period where they outshot them. I think like 22-2 or something, but still lost the period anyway. But whatever.
They scored 3 out of the last 4 shots or something like that at the end of that game.
But whatever.
So
we actually looking good.
Yeah, so we obviously were there on Saturday watching the game with you. You want to talk about that at all?
Do I have to?
Just straight up no.
Okay.
I mean, obviously that was a tough game for them.
It was not a good game at all.
Get offense going, and I thought that Gaudreau line was the only one that showed up. Braden Point a little bit too, right? But everyone else just kind of. Yep.
It was not good. Everyone had an off game. It was very bad. The third period was great, but they couldn't score. But the first 2 periods were god awful.
Hey, Schwim, nobody cares.
Is that what he just said? He didn't say that.
Yeah,
Somebody said it.
That's what he said.
Whose beard is darker, mine or Melvin's?
Oh, definitely Melvin's. He's got gray in his beard.
One definitely got more
Schwimm's
grease
50,
to it.
so
that's true.
Schwimm's is more shiny. It's got the grease effect.
Natural grease, all right? I don't buy that store-bought shit, all right? It's all natural.
So, would you boys like to do the 61-70? Or you guys want to save that for a future episode?
I have one word answer for that also.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll save that. So, obviously we talked to Grant and fantastic, show with that. We will have.
Hey, where's the beef?
Yeah, where's the beef?
Bum, 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 bum.
Does that ever get old? The answer's no.
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 The answer is always.
I don't think so.
So Sam, you were obviously, we were chatting with Sam while Grant was on, and Sam was giving us little pointers and pep talks, but he tells me to ask Grant Marshall about the finals for me. So I was like, thank you. Obviously giving the Rangers a little bit of hell. And then asking if Hull's skate was in the crease. I think Sam should ask that one, but he didn't want to come on.
Wait, you did ask that or you didn't?
No, didn't.
Sam
I asked
wanted to
that.
ask.
I don't even know why that's still considered controversial. There it is.
Hey.
Thank you, Sam. That is the dumbest controversy in Stanley Cup history. That's stupid in the crease nonsense. Had nothing to do with anything.
Well, that was, and that whole in the crease stuff at the time, they were, they were harping on having half a foot in a crease when you were out of the play, all the way on the other side of the crease.
Yeah, so stupid.
It was so stupid, and then that's why we have the creases. You guys know this, but that's why they cut the creases down.
Whoa!
All right, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Do you know where the whole in the crease thing started before the whole thing that ended it? Because of that, it ended that stupid rule. It all started, I believe, back in 96 or 97. It was actually the New York Rangers that complained about it. And then back in 97, first round, I think the Devils had, 9 goals called back because they complained about it, the foot in the crease. That had nothing to do with the play or interference of the goalie or Mike Richter.
So all because of the Rangers. Thanks,
All
Dean.
because of the Rangers. Yeah, thanks, Dean.
Just chiming in.
Bunch of jerks.
That's dynamite drop.
Hey, Dean.
Right.
Hey, Dean. Would you like to see the new mask I made?
Absolutely.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Yeah. All right. While we're waiting on shorts.
Is he putting it on? Oh, that.
Oh, there it is. You jerk.
Nice.
What a jerk.
I'll take 10.
Shorts guy, where can I get one?
Where can you get one? Wow, you can get one at my online store, which I can post a link to it. I think it's a phenomenal mask.
Oh my God. What? Why me?
For it.
Potvin sucks.
No.
Hey, Sam and I on the same page. All right, so while we are
Cups, not sucks. Up.
all right. So while a couple more things before we head out, they named the first All-Star team, which is Connor Hellebuck in goal, John Carlson and Roman Josi on D, Draisaitl, Pasternak, and Panarin at the forward spots. I can't believe McKinnon didn't make first team. That's ridiculous. Second team was Tuukka Rask, Hedman, and Pietrangelo, McKinnon, Kucherov, and Marchand on the wings. So,
Sorry, Danielle. Schwim only has one of those cans.
I'll get some more. Don't worry.
Danielle.
I know where they are sold.
All right, yeah, a couple more things before Sam wraps up. Stanley Cup in consecutive seasons with a different team, NHL history. And I was talking to you guys about this, but Pat Maroon is trying to become the 8th different player in NHL history to win a Stanley Cup in consecutive seasons with different teams. Last person to do was Corey Stillman with Tampa in 2004. Tampa in 2004 and Carolina in 2005. Most overtime minutes in a single postseason. The Tampa Bay Lightning now hold the record at 185 minutes, 17 seconds. They beat the New Jersey Devils from the 1994 team that was in 175 minutes. Some other quick things. Anthony Cirelli won the had the OT winner for the Memorial Cup in 2015. He had the OT winner for the OHL Championship in 2017, and now he has the OT winner to advance to the Cup final in 2020. We talked about Pietrangelo. We talked about the playoff goals leaders. Shorts guy, who is the Devils' all-time playoff goals leader?
Ugh. Look at this
All-time.
All-time.
I'm venturing a guess because I'm terrible with stats. Because my memory is just Awful.
Big time player.
I'm gonna say Eliash.
Eliash, 45 goals.
Yeah.
We already talked about it, but
Nice.
Eric Stahl
No,
is
it was
19
not
for the.
Ken Danico, Sam.
Did Ken Danico have the least amount of playoff gols for the New Jersey Devils?
He somehow had negative playoff goals.
That's
a record.
Good. We talked about Kucherov having obviously the Lightning lead at 35. For Dallas Stars, it is Mike Modano at 58. Shorts guy, just quickly, can you name, and we already talked to these guys about it, can you name the leader all-time in playoff goals? Edmonton Oilers.
Leader? Gretzky?
Not who you think.
No.
Not who you think.
Really?
I already know.
Yari Curry with 9.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I was
he's
about
the
to
really
say
all-time
Yari
leader in
Curry.
playoff goals.
Wow.
Sam, you can touch in a little bit.
Touch who?
Brothers to win a
Who's
cup
getting touched?
in back-to-back years with different teams. The Shen brothers are trying to become the seventh set of brothers to win cups in back-to-back years. So for Schwim's sake, let's hope they get it.
Obscure fact.
Obscure fact. And then there was one other one. Oh, two other ones. Matt Martin becomes one of 5 players with 5+ goals and 100 hits in a playoff year since 97-98, which was, they also have Tom Wilson in there, Dustin Brown, Milan Lucic, and Eric Cole. So, and then, last one was Nikita Kucherov, 19 games played to hit the 20 assist mark, and he's only one of 3 players to do that, including Jonathan Taves and Esteban's Mr. Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
So, pretty good stuff. Sam, you can hit the music and we'll get out of here. But, guys, once again, great podcast. Thanks again to Grant Marshall. He was fantastic. We
Great job,
hope to
guys.
have him on.
What about beer?
Awesome.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to do it.
I'm
So,
gonna
All
jump
right, I was
in
going
right
to
now
say,
and
you're
tell
like
you.
calling it like music is the end of the show.
no, that's fine. My beer was a 4.
Yeah,
my
we
guava cake was 3.75, and then the Finback was a 4.
Oh,
Everybody go to Dogfish, the Dogfish website, and buy yourself a Randall because this is a lot of
buy a
fun
Randall.
to make.
They're fantastic.
To make beers like this.
Festina through Sour Patch
Freaking
Kids is one of the best.
that was
90-minute
delish.
IPA through a Randall of Oreo cookies. Do it. I highly recommend.
Do it.
I don't even
I
know
would
what it
do.
is.
I would do exactly what we had at Cloverleaf with the chocolate chip cookies.
That was good.
I would definitely do that.
What do you got?
The mango crushing it. I don't know what they have left. If you can get down to Cape May, I would go buy it. You 3 have some coming to you tomorrow.
Nice.
I do. It's very easy drinking, and like I told you guys earlier, it is a little bit tart in the beginning, and it just gets better and better as you go along. So I'm going to give. I'm going to give it a 3.75, probably a 4. And then I switched over. I enjoy it because it's real easy and it's 8%. And then I switched over to City and Shore. I haven't had this yet. City and Shore, it's a double IPA. Also clocking in near 8%. So I haven't finished this yet, so I'm not going to properly rate it till I'm done. But it is very tasty.
stuff.
But I do. Anyone out there, get the mango. Get the mango crushing it.
Do it.
Brick City, breakfast for lunch, 4. Get it.
Take her home, buddy.
In sports, it's not whether you win or lose; it's how drunk you get.
Hey, where's the beef?